So guys, now this is the fabric I'll be using to make this skirt. Now the full length of this skirt is 22 inches. Now 22 inches, I'm going to minus my band length from the 22 inches. My band length is 1.5 inches. So 22 minus 1.5 inches gives you 20.5 inches. Now 20.5 inches plus 1.5 inches hemming allowance gives you 22 inches. Now I'm also going to add half inch, which I'm going to use to join this part to the band, and that gives you 22.5 inches. So what I'm working with is 22.5 inches. So let me show you how to achieve your box pleat. Now I'm going to mark 3 inches intervals. I'm marking 3 inches here, and I'll mark another 3 inches and 3 inches and another 3 inches and another 3 inches. So I'll keep marking 3 inches till I get to the end of this fabric. So I'll mark my 3 inches to the end of this fabric. So now I've finished marking my 3 inches intervals. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pinch this one. Now when I pinch this, I'm going to push in this one, and I'll push in this, and I'll bring this one to join this mark, this one. Now this mark, this is another 3 inches mark. I've brought this to join this mark, so I'm going to pin it down. So this is another 3 inches interval, and this is another 3 inches. Now I'm going to pinch this one, and I'll push this one inside, and I'll bring this to join this one, and I'll pin it down. So after that, I'm going to hold this one. Now I'm going to pinch this one, and I'll bring this to come and meet this point. Now this 3 inches point is meeting this point, this 3 inches point, and this point. Now this point is meeting this point, and this point is meeting this point. So I'm going to pin it down. And after that, I'm going to pick. Now this is another 3 inches point, and this is another 3 inches point. Now I'm going to hold this one. I'll pinch this one, and I'll push this other. I'll bring this to come and meet this one. Now for this, I'm going to hold this. I'm going to pinch this, and I'll bring this to come and meet this one. This is meeting this, and I'll pin it down. Now the next one I'm going to hold. Now take note, there's a mark here and there's a mark here. There's a mark here. Now I'm going to hold this, and I'll bring it to meet this, and I'll pin it down. So take note, there's a mark here and there's a mark here, but I'm pulling this. Now I'm pushing this part inside, and I'm bringing this to meet with this one, and I'll pin it down. So there's a mark here and there's a mark here. Now I'm bringing this. Now this one is going inside while this one is coming to meet this one. And I'll pin it down. So this is what I'm going to do till I get to the end of this fabric. So now I'm done pleating. Now the next thing I'm going to do is this. The client waist circumference is 35 inches plus 2 inches zipper allowance gives you 37 inches. So what I have here is 37 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to cut out my waistband. My waistband is 1.5 inches. So I'll cut out my 1.5 inches waistband. Then I'll hem the lower part. I'm going to hem the lower part. And I'm going to sew this upper part. I'll sew this upper part to secure my pleats. Now this is my skirt. I've hemmed the lower part. And I've also closed the sides. I've attached my zipper. Now take note, I use the white zipper for this tutorial. I'm not using this skirt. I just want to teach you how to make this skirt. So don't use an off-colored zipper. Use a matching colored zipper. Now my band length is 2.5 inches on fold, but the actual length of the band is 1.5 inches. 1 inch is for seam allowance. Now I'm going to hold this ½ inch. I'm going to place my band this way, and I'm going to sew with ½ inch. And after sewing, I'll turn it to the right side. Now I'm going to start by sewing this with ½ inch seam allowance. I'll sew my band to the skirt with ½ inch seam allowance. I'll sew it round to this point. Now after that, you see that I still have some allowance here. Now this is my overlap. This is going to serve as my overlap. So after sewing here with ½ inch seam allowance, I'm going to turn it to this side and sew. Now let me illustrate with pin. So I'm going to sew this with ½ inch seam allowance, just like this. I'll sew it round. Now after sewing, I'm going to turn it this way and sew with another ½ inch. Now I'm going to sew from here. I'll sew it neatly with I'm going to sew it neatly. As I'm sewing here, as I'm sewing this part, this part will also be sewing. It will be catching this part. So that's how I'm going to sew my band. Then for this part, I'm going to turn it to the wrong side, and I'll sew with ½ inch seam allowance, and I'll turn it to the right side. Now when I turn it to the right side, I'm going to have something like this. Now after that, I'm going to give it a thorough press, and I'll wear it on my mannequin and show you what it looks like. If you found this tutorial helpful, please click on the like button. Share this video with your friends. Share this video in your sewing groups. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. Feel free to ask questions. I'll be in the comment section to answer all your questions. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.